With 4 days to Super Bowl 60. And for Super Bowl statements, Tim Hasselbeck, start me off. Super Bowl statement.
Well, how about this? Kenneth Walker's not sharing the backfield, so a lot of people think it's going to be a big day for him. But how about Drake Maye rushes for more yards than Kenneth Walker in this matchup? Maye's rushing this postseason has really been, vital in terms of the Patriots' success. It's something he does extremely well. I think he'll be hesitant to hold on to the football for a long time, and so for that, Maye more rushing yards than Kenneth Walker.
I like that a lot. Find me a prop. Jeff Saturday, give me a Super Bowl statement.
How about wide receivers and DBs? JSN, this guy had a monster game in the NFC Championship game. Howard Gonzalez and Carlton Davis on the backside of that Patriots defense going to be able to lock. Are they going to double him and then single up on the other side with either Kupp or Shaheed? It's going to be a great strategic matchup in the backfield. But when I talk receivers and DBs, this is a matchup to watch. I'm fired up for it.
Yeah, the Patriots so strong back there in JSN, maybe the best in the league. D. Wood, give me a final Super Bowl statement.
Yeah, listen, I think the Patriots are going to make Sam Darnold beat him. As great as Sam Darnold played in the NFC Championship game, arguably his best game in his career, we know that this Seattle Seahawks offense, they want to run the football. Kenneth Walker III is a big part of it. I think Mike Vrabel on that defense, they're going to shut Kenneth Walker down, and they're going to make Sam Darnold, who's had a good year, but he's also led the league in turnovers this year. Mike Vrabel and company is going to force Sam Darnold to beat him.
Let's talk about Sam. So we finished our show yesterday. I go up to the office, and I'm changing out of my work clothes, and I'm watching you on First Take there with Stephen A. and the crew. And you're having a conversation, and I'll just put the question to you. I'm acknowledging it came directly from that, but I thought it was interesting. If Sam Darnold plays a game like that on Sunday and is a Super Bowl champion by the time we go to bed on Sunday night, will we have to wake up Monday morning and say Sam Darnold is an elite NFL quarterback?
Yeah, my answer is yes, especially if he plays the way he did to win the game. Like to Woody's point, if the Patriots block him in and say, hey, he's got to go beat us, and he does it, how would you not call him elite? This is a quarterback who's won 30 games in the last 2 years. By the way, the only two other quarterbacks who have done that, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. I mean,
in any 2 years
in
span.
any 2 year span.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legit. I mean, that's saying something. Now, not all wins go to quarterbacks. I get all that. But here, this is the way I discussed it yesterday, and I feel this is a great comparison. Eli Manning, he won 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVP, played fantastic. Throughout his regular season, people would talk about he was never like the guy that you said was the guy, right? He wasn't Peyton, he wasn't Drew Brees, he wasn't Tom Brady. And so I liken the two to each other. Is if Sam Darnold has this type of game in the Super Bowl where he's a Super Bowl MVP, absolutely. Are you saying that Eli wasn't elite? Like I wouldn't say he's not an elite quarterback because he is. So that's the best comparison to me would be saying that a guy who not only has won a bunch of regular season games but gets in the show and plays his 2 best games in the championship and the Super Bowl, you have to put him in that conversation.
It's funny because back in those days, that was the big topic on sports talk shows, like the ones that I was hosting at the time. You can't spell elite without E-L-I.
Love it.
That was the big discussion. Tim Hasselbeck, is Sam Darnold an elite quarterback if he wins on Sunday?
Yeah, listen, in my eyes, I would see it just the way Jeff sees it from a standpoint of, look, I think Eli Manning was an elite quarterback. And because, yes, the postseason success and obviously Super Bowl success, but also, the sustained success throughout his career, I think lets you look through his career, from the lens of, the guy was able to do it at the highest level. So that's how I would see it. Now, I don't think that that's how the public is going to see it for Sam Darnold. I think they'll see it the way that people are looking at Jalen Hurts, the way some people still look at Eli Manning, the way people looked at Joe Flacco. Guys that have had amazing success throughout their entire career, won Super Bowls, but they don't look them, to Jeff's point, don't look at them like Brees or Manning or some of these other guys that have played the position. So I think until you're doing it, for a long period of time throughout the regular season and the postseason, and then you win Super Bowls without the best defense on the field, I think people are always going to have some type of lens to say, yeah, but you're not like that other guy.
What do you think, D-Wood?
Yeah, you can be elite without being generational. Like you talk about Brees. Peyton, those are generational. You can be an elite quarterback, okay? And that's why when you brought the name Eli Manning, it made a lot of sense because Eli Manning on one breath won 2 Super Bowls and was a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. On the other hand, he led the league multiple times in interceptions. He was never the best quarterback at any point in his career, but he's also a guy that more than likely is going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, if Sam Darnold continues what he's been doing this postseason, especially off the NFC Championship game where he had the best game of his career, if he goes out there and wins without the Kenneth Walker rushing attack, yeah, we're going to have to think of him in that manner.
And can I say this just to put this in a good reference point? The Rams scored a bunch of points and moved the ball up and down. Stafford had a great day against that Seahawks defense that's the number one. I get they're a great defense. Sam Darnold had to play an excellent football game for them to win. To act like he's being carried, and again, football is a team game. Special teams matter, defense matters, but in that moment when it was all placed on his shoulders, you got to go compete and outperform possibly the MVP. He did it in the biggest. How do you not call that elite? That to me is where it gets crazy. Like he is playing at an elite level right now.
It's a fun conversation. I will continue it as we go. Meantime,
are rolling out the red carpet. Time for a Super Bowl edition of Saturday's Sneak Peek, where we say hello to our NFL analyst and box office hitmaker. It is the one and only Jeff Saturday. All right, we finally made it to the big game here, Jeff. So what must-see movies are on the marquee for this matchup between Seattle and New England?
Oh, let's start with wide receivers and defensive backs. How about JSN, Catch Me If You Can? And this with his Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, the third, the cornerbacks for the New England Patriots. But how are they going to play him? Are they going to double JSN and then man up on the other side and try to take out whether it's Shaheed or Cooper Kupp? You think about what Smith and Jigba has done this season. It's been absolutely incredible. But how about the NFC Championship game where he was literally unstoppable? They put him in the backfield. They moved him around. The Patriots got to have a plan of how you take him out and make sure he is not the lethal weapon that was used in that NFC Championship game. Now we're talking about double impact. Booty and Diggs, the two receivers for the New England Patriots, and big plays down the field. Think about the Patriots with Drake Maye. When they have been their best, they have taken shots down the field. Drake Maye throws an incredible deep ball, and both those guys make some spectacular catches. That's going to be tough to do against this Seahawks defense, but I think that's the only way they stay in this game. And make no mistake, Josh McDaniels will have plays dialed up to push the ball down the field and make sure they get some opportunities for explosive plays. It's the way you move the ball. And then finally, the end-all, be-all, baby, under pressure. Will Campbell, Leo Williams. How is this thing? Williams, they move him around the Seahawks defensive tackle. They'll put him anywhere and everywhere to try to find the weakness. Will Campbell, the starting left tackle for the New England Patriots, has struggled this year. Drake Maye's been sacked 15 times in the playoffs. That's 5 each week, y'all, if you're thinking about it that way. And by the way, they have had 11 sacks with no blitz, just 4-man rush. So how are they going to figure out how to block Leo Williams and that Seahawks front, who, by the way, rotates like crazy? This is going to be a major, major impact on this game. And by the way, it always comes down to O-line, D-line. We want to talk about QBs. It's all about the trenches, people.
Look, every box office hit has its critics, and Tim Hasselbeck is here in place of Dominique Foxworth. So, Tim, 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down for Under Pressure, that battle in the trenches?
Listen, as much as this pains me, because Jeff is going to just take a victory lap on this all day long, it is about the trenches. It 100% is about the trenches. And he's exactly right. Like the struggles on that Patriots offensive line have been real. Maye does have a tendency to hold on to the football. It's been a huge issue this postseason. Quite frankly, yeah, he was in the MVP race, but it's been a rough postseason in terms of fumbles in the pocket. He's been contacted in the pocket way too many times. And you think about what Seattle does well, they're built to have success up front. Jeff mentioned doing it without bringing pressure. That's exactly right. It's Leonard Williams. It's also DeMarcus Lawrence. It's also other in Nwosu. It's other guys up front. So that will determine the game, much like it has in years past. As Jeff will like to tell you, he should have been the MVP, not Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl he won.
Let's go. That's a boy, Timmy. Welcome to the club, baby.
Look, I love how Jeff tried to throw in there, look, hey, the quarterback, he matters a little bit, but not as much as the guys in the trenches. Just Saturday, Tim.